What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. It's your man Mo. My man P in the building.
Yo, yo.
I got my man P on the line.
What's good? What's good, world?
Birthday boy, man. I'll crash the party early right now, man. Let's get a happy
That's
birthday
it.
to my guy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just about to say we had some house cleaning to do. We got some house cleaning. We got to wish our man right here happy Earth Day. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it. I've been
Feels
blessed.
good to be in our mid-20s, man.
Yeah, man. Blessed. Mid-20s for like the 20th year.
Yeah. A lot of people don't see the mid-20s.
I gotta appreciate it, man.
Fellas, the Brooklyn Zoo, man, it's still going strong right now. I want to gauge your reactions to KD's latest comments. Happened earlier in the week, and I'm paraphrasing to be clear. He basically named the starting five: Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton himself. Please forgive me, I forgot the other starter.
So did he.
And he basically said, "What do you guys expect from this group? Do y'all think we're just going to win because I'm out there? Because number 7's out there? Is this just Kevin being truthful with us, or is this something more like, hey, or is this, hey, Kevin throwing his teammates under the bus, or can it be both? Can both be true?"
I think all of the above. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely throwing them under the bus. You know what I mean? Even if it's true, you don't have to say it. It's kind of, it's literally like you're throwing them under the bus to save yourself. You know what I mean? It's not like you just kind of degrading your teammates. You're doing it so you don't get degraded. So we don't look at you for not carrying a team. You're blaming them, basically. So when they do win, you say, "Oh, Kevind Durant led them to victory." So when you lose, it's because you don't have enough talent. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? When you're the marquee player, you get when you win, you get too much credit. When you lose, you get too much credit. That's just how it is.
So what are your thoughts?
I mean, outside of Philly, I think for the past 2 years, I've argued it's probably one of the least star-studded, talentless teams I've seen. But with that being said, he went there on his own volition. So I mean, he looked at that squad and how it would be stripped for him going there. I mean, or the trades that they would make, and he was fine with it. And when they had decent talent when he was there, I mean, he wasn't doing anything special either. I mean, we're gonna start throwing the words, Kevin being Kevin. I think that's the way we're leaning to when it comes, to this guy. It seems it's more so like P was saying, whining because of results. You know what I mean? If you're winning, this is my team, leave him alone. We don't want to talk. But when you're losing, all the scrutiny is now coming to you because he's been shielded his whole career. At OKC, it was Russell Westbrook's fault. A young team that hasn't, been put together. I've joined the Golden State Warriors, and if it was going bad, they had lost prior to. And I got him over that LeBron hump per se, which he can spin. I don't believe so. I just think that he was a steroid-driven 3 slot that went in there. He could just slot anyone in that position. And then when he got to Brooklyn, everything is going to fall on Kyrie and Ben Simmons. He's always been sheltered. So now some of the scrutiny is coming to him, and I don't know what to do besides get in the corner and then fight back, which is a natural reaction. But this is ugly. If I was on his team, we would have some issues here. You know what I mean? Granted, it is what it is. I mean, we look at that from the outside, looking in and saying, duh, yeah, Kevin, yeah, absolutely. You have no one. But you're playing with this team, and it's just not the cool, thing to say, especially when you guys are, 4-1 with the person you think makes a huge difference talent-wise. You know what I mean? So they're playing actually better without the guy you came here with.
And I'm leaning towards where you're at, Hill, and I'm kind of wondering, is this why we tend not to include him in those conversations with Giannis and LeBron, and even as far as the best player right now.
Absolutely.
We acknowledge his skill set, and we acknowledge that hey, he is one of the most skilled players out there right now, and has a large talent pool to say the least. But we don't speak of him like we speak of Giannis, or like we speak of LeBron, or how we're starting to speak of Steph now, with the way Golden State is played, and with his ability to push them through to a championship last year, where we expect Giannis, Steph, LeBron, and them to pull their teammates forward, and especially with Steph and Giannis at this point. I think LeBron, he's toward the end of that cycle of his career where hey, he can pull a team forward. I think that's just Father Time catching up. As we've always said on this show, Father Time is undefeated. So do you think that lends to this, to that narrative? Why we don't include Kevin Durant on?
Yeah, I think absolutely. You look at that last run in Cleveland with LeBron. You tell me who the second best player in that Cleveland team was. You know what I mean? You look at Milwaukee this season. No Chris Middleton, no problem. You know what I mean? Giannis is not going. He's not going in the press conference saying, "Oh, we don't have Chris Middleton. What do you expect?" No, he's going out there and playing and carrying his team. You look even as far as last night. Now I think KD's a better player than Joel Embiid, but Maxey goes down. Harden's already out. Joel Embiid steps up and they win the game. You know what I mean? So, and like you said earlier, no one's questioning KD's talent. But his leadership leaves a lot to be desired. It just does. He's not a good leader of he's not a good leader of men. He's just not. He's shown that his whole career.
Great point, P. So I looked around the league and I said to myself, when you guys put this in the chat as a topic, I said to myself, all right, what the second best player is probably Jaren Jackson on Memphis, right? And he just started playing a couple of days ago. So I guess you want to go with Dylan Brooks or Bane. Again, people look at them differently. I don't think they're good like that. So what's the reason why Ja takes his talent to another level? You know what I mean? His team isn't that great. What does Luka have down there in Dallas that makes Luka compete like he competes? You know what I mean? However you want to look at it with Trae Young prior to DeJounte coming, look with Trae, how he elevated that team. And I'm not a big Trae Young fan. What je ne sais quoi, we say these leadership talents or personality traits that they have, and they're not better than Kevin Durant, these players, but they drive their teams towards playoffs, winning seasons. They're not making excuses. They're flourishing in the positions that they're in. And we see them as superstars. Why do we give him, and not us, because we don't, but why does it seem like he gets a pass for his results?
Yeah, I don't, as much as he rails against the media, at one point he was the media darling. Remember the MVP speech about his mom and everything? So I think he still has some of that equity built in, I guess. I don't know. When he says, what do you guys expect? Personally, I don't expect nothing from the Brooklyn Nets this year. Like, I don't expect nothing. Like, they're barely on my radar when it comes to the Eastern Conference. You know, we talked about it off air, Milwaukee, Boston, and then probably Cleveland. So I don't, so that statement was to people who have some type of, I don't know, they feel that he can lead a team, where I think everybody on this podcast feels like he's shown that he can't.
Yeah, and when he said that, P, honestly, what I was thinking of is, I'm expecting you to show me who the Kevin Durant is. Yeah, 'cause remember that time back in the day
think,
where you say, "I'm Kevin Durant."
I think he is though. That's kind of my point. I think he is showing you who Kevin Durant is. He's a uber talented scorer, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. He is, but I don't think he has, like you said earlier, Hill, whatever you want to call it, Dinich squad, that thing. I don't think he got it.
No, you don't go into a series saying this is alpha versus alpha, even though he's better than Jason Tatum, or is he?
Right.
I think so, but you don't go in saying this is between them two, and Jason Tatum is going to take the lead. You know what I'm saying? He's going into a thing. You're like, so what? Kyrie isn't there. You should be enough to lead teams to victories, Kev. You're the second most talented player in the league for the last 15 years. Right. 13, 15 years under LeBron. Being a second best player should equate to something, which you always have been hidden with the other talent, right? And they've gotten the blame for results. Ja Morant is nowhere near you, but yet I go into an evening saying Ja's playing, he's must-watch TV. Luka is must-watch TV. I don't go in saying that Kevin Durant is must-watch TV. I say the Nets are when him and Kyrie are playing because I think I need them both. But I can't watch him alone. He doesn't have, and he plays like he's the alpha when I do get to watch him. But I don't go into saying like I want to watch Kevin and Brooklyn play tonight. You know what I mean? For some odd reason, I'd rather watch that disaster that's in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I don't know why.
It's so weird. Like I would say Giannis is better than him. And I just saw Giannis go like 4 for 14 from the line, but I still would take Giannis just off the, because I know he could impact the game and get my team a win. You know what I mean? Not that KD can't, I'm just saying, but not to the level that Giannis can.
Yeah, I think there's a sense of this player won't be denied with certain players. Like, hey, with Giannis, peak LeBron, Steph Curry is getting into that realm. Luka is getting into that realm where hey, you think you put Dame, you put them in the right position, or you just keep it close. And this guy is not going to be denied. If he has the ball at the last minute, he's going to bring it home for us. And what's crazy for me is Kevin Durant still has some of that cachet because I know the skill talent. Like, hey, I know if the Nets keep the game close and they're able to give the ball to Kevin Durant last 10 seconds,
so I'm trying to take you home.
Yeah. But for some reason, I don't believe in him being able to lead them to keep it close. You know what I mean? It almost feels like watching Kevin Durant is like watching someone play in the summer league or in a pickup game at the Rutgers or something like that. Like, hey, he's looking to get his, but he's not trying to ensure that the team wins. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
It does to an extent, because it seems like I'm gonna contradict myself, because it seems like diluted perception. Because when like I said, when I watch the game, he has the ball in his hands and he's attacking and he's scoring. But at the same time, he takes the last shot. He makes the right decisions. He gives you 30-some points. So you're saying, how is he not a leader? But I watched the game and I'm saying, he's not putting the team on his back to put it, but he's doing everything that's asked for. So it's pretty hard to explain. He does what you ask of him to the highest degree. But it's just something I can't put together. That's why I think it's my diluted perception, because everything he can look at me and say, watch the tape, and I'll look and I'll say, nah, Kev, you had the ball like all the time. You assisted on so many points. And what is your argument that I'm not doing? And I'll say, I don't know, Kev. I'm looking at it and you're dropping.
You're not winning. Like I look at
that could be it, right?
I think I look at someone like Luka Doncic, like his impact on the game, for better or worse, because he has the ball like every single time down. But his impact leads them to wins.
Okay.
I think that's the difference. And another with KD, I was talking to somebody off air, a friend of mine, and we were just saying, I don't know if KD's chasing anything. And what I mean by that, when you think of the late, great Kobe Bryant, I got 5. I need 6 to catch Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, and it's the same with like LeBron. Like certain dudes, I feel like they're chasing something. I don't feel like KD's chasing anything. I think he's just hooping. He's great at it. I think he's not chasing anything like Kobe was chasing, like LeBron is currently chasing. I feel like Giannis is already, he's already chasing. Like that one championship means nothing to him. You know what I mean? Like,
so every day is an open gym for this guy.
Yeah, I think he's just open.
Yeah, and to your point, that makes sense, P. Because I think Kevin Durant is on the other side of the spectrum as far as love of the game of hip hop. I mean, love of the game of basketball, excuse me. In the sense that, hey, he just wants to hoop. He ain't worried about team chemistry. He ain't worried about this, that. He just loves putting the basketball in the hoop or just playing. And I think that's what we're seeing, where, hey, he's not concerned about, hey, the team aspect. It's just, hey, my love of basketball, I want to play. I'm going to play to my highest ability. If you guys could keep up with me, great. Otherwise, I'm going to keep on doing my job and let them do their job.
And just to, I want to turn this to like a pile on a KD, but I feel like I already knew this, because when people using Westbrook as the scapegoat for OKC, and they were just like, well, KD can't win because of Westbrook. Well, isn't it KD? Isn't he the leader? Isn't you know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be a problem. You shouldn't you're not going to tell me, oh, Jordan could have won more, but Pippen. No, he's not the alpha. That's it. He's just not an alpha to take the reins and take the team where it needs to go. And I saw that like in OKC. So nothing post OKC surprises me. None of it.
You have a better offensive bag than LeBron James with better players, and you lost to him. That's one. And he's done way more with way less throughout his career.
Right.
You have some explaining to do when it all comes down to it, to me. I mean, as the second best player in the league, why this man was here. Like the second best player, like Shaq in Orlando with Scott, that's a bad team. Until they got pinned, but Shaq was still Shaq. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be constructive in criticism without tearing him down, each time. But I find myself having a hard time, about it. This is what he wanted. This was his chance to prove that outside of those star-laden teams that that you don't give me credit for, Hill, then this is what I'm going to do here when people aren't here. And right now, like I said, he's 4-1 right now, without him. So, I mean, he keeps it up, but you got to go with the punches, bro. You lose. This is your team that you're going with. You should be able to uplift them. I don't want to hear anything about this is what we're dealing with. You literally still have more talent than what LeBron had then. Give me wins. I don't want to see losses, period.
It's funny, like you had Kyrie. Like so you had the same player. Like it's I know it's other ancillary plays, but you have the same player he had.
Yeah, but see, like you said, LeBron was that bus driver. Kyrie and KD is Tesla. I mean, it's on autopilot. Who knows who's driving? And the car's driving itself.
No, the irony. I think Kyrie would like to be a bus driver. That's
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But you have him strapped in the back of the seat, and with seatbelts on against his chest and his legs, and you have him pretty much pinned down like a straitjacket, and just saying let's go. And KD is pretty much in the back while he's smoking a cigarette while it's on autopilot. You need that adult in the classroom, and that's where LeBron came in. So.
And talking about Kyrie, your boy Kyrie is expected to come back, I believe, this Sunday against the Memphis Grizzlies. Do you think the Nets can right the ship with the return of Kyrie Irving? Or do you think this is the beginning stages of them trying to, blow this team up and, move forward.
Define right to ship. Playoffs, championship, what's
I think at this point they were happy with a playoff berth, right?
Yeah, I think Kyrie returns and he plays X amount of games. I could see the Brooklyn Nets being a playoff team. Possibly a fourth seed, at best a fourth seed. And I think I'm being generous.
Can they be a contender?
No. I saw it last year. No. They're not in the same class as the Boston Celtics. And the Celtics got better.
Yeah, but why not?
But
why not though? I mean, you have two great players.
All NBA.
A defensive presence down low. You have two very good shooters. We'll go with that, with Curry and Joe Harris.
Yeah.
You have Royce O'Neal with defensive presence, with Ben Simmons. Either way you take them, when defense was. Why can't this be a contending team out the East? Why shouldn't it be?
Yeah, I think they're more talented than what people, and when I say people, I mean KD, are leading people to believe. It's not a bad team. It's a Golden State Warriors in 2017, 18, no. But it's not a bad team. And then you add that average talent with KD and Kyrie, you're absolutely right. They should be. But I'm going off what I've seen for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going off. It was a video game. Yeah, Brooklyn. I'll pick them. But in real life,
I think it also speaks to what we've been saying about KD and his leadership skills, as far as the type of leadership style he has. It's not one like with Giannis right now. Drew's out, Middleton was out, and he's like, "Yo, I still gotta have it. We still gotta be a championship contender. I'm still playing as if, hey, we still got a chance. I'm not hearing, oh, we can't make it because Middleton's not here. We can't make it because this player's not here." He's like, no, I'm that good where I can dominate the game and pull you guys along. I don't get that sense of urgency or competitiveness from KD, where he's like, you know what? I gotta have it. Like Giannis, I'm convinced, like you said, P, he's hungry and he wants to be the best. And I'm convinced that he doesn't believe in his head that the world believes he's the best yet. So he still has something to prove. And he plays like that every night, and you see it. The same thing with Ja, the same thing with Luka, the same thing with Steph. It feels like they all play like they have something to prove. Kevind Durant has come to the party like, yo, I'm Kevind Durant. I don't have nothing else to prove.
Right. And you can make the argument, is Giannis, the town around Giannis, is it better than it? Is it really that much of, if it is better than the town around KD?
No, P, I'm on the premise of pretty much right now, for the last 3 years, you should have been saying, duh, you had Kyrie. I think that should be the headline. Duh, you had Kyrie. Your results of what you are now, maybe having one championship or going to the finals, or what I mean, sprinkling a finals here and there, 1 or 2. It should have been, you're missing this piece and missing this piece, but your results, duh, is you and Kyrie. What do you expect? You don't get that.
Yeah. And as much as people want to, go at Kyrie, whatever, Kyrie and LeBron get you there, gets you all the way there.
You say that with LeBron. You look at it now, it's like a young Kyrie, but then look, he's Kyrie Irving. That was his Batman. Duh, he's supposed to do that. This guy was giving you 38. This guy was giving you 34. Okay, like, I'm not surprised. It's Kyrie Irving, but I do get surprised now. It doesn't make sense to me. That's what I'm stuck on with Brooklyn. So I think Brooklyn should be a contender for championship.
I think that was originally that was thought, right? Not to go off, but I mean, I think it was a matter of like Paul George and Kawhi, LeBron and AD, Kyrie and KD. I'll meet y'all in June. Like, it hasn't worked out that way.
Still staying in Brooklyn. P, your favorite player, Mr. Ben Simmons, lighting it up the other night, boy. Going crazy on there. He lighting them up, P. Double digits, first time in the season. Season high. What was it? Held 15 and 11?
Yeah, 15, 11. You do understand he has 74 points. You do understand that. 74 points is what he has.
I understand you're saying this in jest mode. But
he lit him up, P.
Curry gave you 50 the other night.
Are we getting hype off of that? Like, I think
Ben Simmons is here, y'all.
Embiid has given you that like in 3 games.
He gives you 74 points to get in total this whole season. He's giving you 74 points.
Oh, excuse me. So he's done that in 2 games. Embiid has done that in 2 games, counting that 59 joint. For the people who listen to the show, Mo makes it seem like I really have a dislike for Ben Simmons, and I don't. I think, well, I thought he was, a really good player. No, I remember Embiid was I keep saying when Embiid went down, it was like 11-game stretch. They might have went like 9-2. He looked great. He looked like a 6'10" Jason Kidd or 6'10" Rondo. He looked like. But after that playoff run, that 1 point, I think he scored 1 against Boston and did that play against Atlanta. His confidence is just not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not his physical talent. We know what he can do. He's capable of doing, but mentally he's just not there. So for him to 13, 11, and 6. At this point, for him, that's good. But I don't.
Not excited about that? That doesn't push the Nets closer to championship contention, P?
I'm with KD on that one. What do you expect? No.
I don't know what you guys are into with numerology, but it's 666 across the board. That's his stats.
Yeah, mark of the beast.
Okay. Enough said.
I mean,
and this is, if it was like Draymond, you'd be like, oh, it's the intangibles. They're not even winning. So this is there are no intangibles.
And he's not doing the intangibles. The intangibles would be playing a stellar defense, being a volume rebounder, facilitating. They're not allowing him to facilitate. He isn't. He's a step behind on defense, and he's not rebounding the way a 6'10" forward should.
Right. He should be better than Draymond Green, but he's not.
Yeah.
He should be. He everything Draymond Green can do, he pretty much could do.
And then when he throws you an offer, unlike Draymond, he gives you his Balenciaga display the next day, jumping on the end of the bench. I don't know what they're doing in Brooklyn over there. He's clearly not hurt. He's able to jump and backflip for plays. It's a mess. It really is a mess. How bad he is and the money they're paying him. I'd rather get on the floor. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you get on the floor and you backspin in the middle of the arena, or you throw the ball in the stands, or you eat it, as they used to say. I need you playing on the court. It's such an eyesore to see you jumping up at the end of the bench, modeling clothes. It's annoying.
They tell me he has a bad back, but he's jumping up and down. What? There's a lot of players in the NBA that's doing that now. Like, I thought he was injured. You see them like dancing at the end of the bench, but that's a whole nother topic. But I think Ben Simmons, they have to work, or he has to work, or get his confidence back. I think he's a talented player. Obviously, he was a former All-Star, but what he is now, he just doesn't look like he can help the team.
And I know this is going to sound like I'm protecting Ben, but when you watch their games and you watch him especially when he was playing with the starting unit, honestly, guys, Kyrie and Kevind Durant never bought into the plan that they had for Ben Simmons in the Brooklyn Nets uniform. And even now, you can still see it. because there's certain situations where you see Ben having the ball and you see him expecting more movement, like, hey, guys cutting or whatnot. And he's like, I want to get rid of it, but guys aren't doing the play. So then it turns into, all right, let me just do a little handoff pass to Kevind Durant. And then it starts looking a certain way, and Kevin's looking at him frustrated, but you didn't run the play. And then there's certain opportunities where I see them on a fast break and he's running. You got an easy lob to him. Players are taking it to the rack for a harder contested layup rather than just lob the ball to Ben.
You know what,
And
Mo?
I think the team hasn't bought in.
You're absolutely
And
right.
that might be because of the way Ben's confidence has been and what they've seen on the court.
You're absolutely right. After saying that, I do think you're protecting him. Because I think if you put him on any other team, it would be the same thing.
But I think honestly, if you put him on a younger team with no starts with the cachet of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, that could look at him and say, nah. Because that's what's happening, P.
I think it's a chicken. I think it's a chicken or the egg. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, you're saying he's playing bad because they're doing that. I say they're doing that because he's playing bad. You know what I mean? And it's just a vicious cycle at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, you know, you're right. But I feel like the reason they're doing this is because they don't trust him. You know what I mean? And that's what we spoke about in earlier episodes as far as our organizational thing and leadership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but his contemporaries who get paid like him $41 million a year, that I might add. I'm curious. What do you think he should be giving you at $41 million a year? I'm just curious. Because I have an idea what a $41 million player should be giving me, but I'm just curious what you guys think he should be giving you.
A $40 million player should be giving me more, but honestly, out of Ben Simmons, 18, 8, and 8, I think that's what he's capable of giving you.
So you have a little caveat. You're saying for Ben Simmons for a $41 million player, and then that you answered it that way. So for your opinion of a $41 million player, what do you think you should be given? Because you're right, because it plays into, because we're talking about Ben Simmons and what he's only capable of giving with that money. But he does get that money.
Right. No, for $40 million, you shouldn't be asking to fit in. You should be the lead dog of a team.
Yeah. For $41 million, hey, you're all NBA. Like, hey, without question. It's just a matter of which team.
Because the $40 million players that I saw are in that top 8 that you guys sent me and above, like the Donovan Mitchells, the Luka Doncic. Yeah, I don't want to see anything under 20 points. And Russell Westbrook's in that category as well too. He's making $49 million. Anything under 20 points is terrible for that amount of money. And for 40 and above, I'm demanding 20, 10 something, or 25-5 something. And not flat 20, I mean 25.
Right.
And he's giving me 6. So the reason why I don't touch Ben Simmons is that it frustrates me almost to the point of anger. That's the only reason why I say, to me, I think he should be out the league and work on himself, just going out the league. This is no project. You're 19 points in which I think you should be. I don't care how you make it. You're not even on the court enough to do it now, because now you're fouling out now almost every other game. So I forget, I don't know your heart, whether it's beat it. I'm not here to go on, inside his head, pause. But for my standards, the man needs to be out the league, because he's way far from the median when it comes to me. Just the median. I mean, he's not even giving me 12 and a half. Meet me halfway, in which I would still be discussed. He's giving me 6.
And I'm glad you brought it up. Talk about the NBA scoring explosion. We got at least 8 players that are scoring 30 or more. I think Giannis kind of bumped himself out of that list, so it's now 7 players. Giannis last night, I think he went down 0.5, so he's scoring 29.5 points a game now. Is this great players coming into their own, and you have the offensive explosion, or is this bad defense league wide?
The league has some bad defense, but these are players that's just going to get this. I mean, they might struggle some nights, meaning 22, 23 with bad numbers, but those 8 I find should be having those numbers. You know what I mean? And AD could possibly find his way up in there as well.
He's close. He's close.
I think a lot of those players, obviously, great scorers. There's no doubt about that. But I think, the rule change, not just even, the hand check, all that stuff, just the shot clock. Like, the shot clock resets to like 14 instead of 24. So I think the pace has a lot to do with it too. But these players, there ain't no doubt about it. These players are skilled, uber skilled offensive players. But I think the pace of the game leads to this particular explosion. But take nothing away from these guys. These guys are great scorers. Every single one of them. You know what I mean?
I don't see any defense that should be able to hold these guys.
And just to give our listeners an idea of who's on this list, we got Luka Doncic leading the league with 34.3 points. We got Joel Embiid, number 2 in the league, 32.3 points. Stephen Curry, number 3, 32.2 points. Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavs, 31.2 points. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, from OKC, 31.1 points. Kevin Durant, number 6, at 30.6 points. And Jason Tatum, number 7, at 30.3 points. And like I said, Giannis just bumped himself out, where he's at now 29.5 points.
Yeah, and I think Ja was close. He's probably close. He's probably hovering around that 29. But I think Donovan and Shea are probably the surprises in that group. Like everybody else is like, but I think those guys, I don't want to say they're surprised. I would say they took the game to a different level this year. You know what I mean? So
you see the steps too in progression. I mean, you see 6, 9, looking at some of the stats, 6, 9, 11, 13, and then like him and Murray, DeJounte, they jump off the table in the last 2 or 3 years. Like their game just enhanced and big time. So it's excellent to see. And you guys get a chance to see, Shea Gilgeous out there. It's a joy to watch. Kid has talent.
And just to piggyback off of that, Hill, is Shea Gilgeous someone we should be talking more about?
I mean, it's something that my team, he's an asset in which my team can't get. You know what I mean? But if this team was prepared, they possibly could have scouted him earlier when they had draft picks and got him on the cheap. So that package should have been, presented not in Washington. It should have been packaged in OK City. Instead of Westbrook, they should have got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hindsight, right?
It's actually running the team, actually. I mean, people should be fired. I mean, you're not doing your job. That is your job. You have scouts. You have a general manager. They give you information from around the league, and you find these players in the rough. You know what I mean? Like, I kidded before when you guys were talking about Jerry. This is what Jerry West did. He loves the game. So he went around and scouted correctly.
Yeah, and kudos to the OKC organization. Like their scouting team, their talent evaluators are excellent. No matter what you think about the players, they drafted Westbrook, they drafted Harden, Durant, Ibaka. Like they pretty much don't miss.
I mean, Sam Presti has a great eye. It's just that, well, no, you can't really say that because he got to a finals. So I guess it's not as bad as I'm thinking.
I think the only complaint an OKC fan can have about OKC at this point is that the team hasn't shown that they're willing to spend to secure a championship contender. Like, hey, they've been real thrifty with their team payroll. And part of that is small market, so you don't have as many assets and financial, assets that's available to you so that you can go over the luxury tax and stuff like that and pay a luxury tax. But that's the only thing that you can say about OKC is they're not willing to spend, not willing to go over into the tax, but outside of that, they've been a competent organization.
To P's point, though, like you're saying, like it's one thing to have picks and a boatload of them, but to nail each pick you have it says quite a bit.
I mean, they're drafting MVPs. I mean, you hope you get a good player, even an all-star. They're getting like, oh, we want him. That him turns into an MVP. Even the trade for Shea, that was a great trade. Like when it happened, I guess we all pretty big Paul George fans, but yeah, that was a great trade. Not just drafting. That's why I said his talent evaluators, at a whole. Yeah. And I saw them play the other day. Like they have a good team. It's just not him. They have Dort is like an ex-defender. I remember he couldn't throw it into the ocean. Now he knocked down threes.
Yeah, get it. Play development. They do an excellent job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought back when I watched that kid in Arizona State, I said, I like him because he reminded me of Harold Miner. Any lefty play is explosive like that. I said, I like him. There's no way to pick them that high, though.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, I remember, it might have been around this time years ago. I think when I saw him play, I tuned in to watch OJ Mayo.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like it was UFC
versus Arizona State, right?
And I was like, oh, this James Harden guy's, pretty good. yeah, duh.
Yeah.
And they saw
Westbrook,
that.
I was like, oh, this kid's a blurry, got hops, but I don't know if I'd have got him that high.
Right, because you got Kevin Love, a couple other guys on that team. He might have been. He wasn't better than Kevin Love in college. He just wasn't. I can't remember who else was there, but it might have been Collins. Yeah, I want to say Collinson, Darren Collinson, and I think they moved him off the ball, so Darren Collinson would be on the ball. Westbrook might have been like their third best player on that team. So to pick him and take him with a top 5 pick, say what you want about Westbrook, that was a great pick. So yeah, OKC, salute. This is the longest we spoke about OKC. I know that.
Yeah. Well,
hey guys, hit us up on social media. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Or you can email us directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. Fellas, and Hill, this is probably more your topic right now. We going into Jeff Saturday was hired by the Indianapolis Colts to be their new head coach. I feel like we've crossed this road before, so I'll just say this is kind of the demonstration of the need for diversity among ownership. Until you have an owner that isn't white, let's say what it is, isn't white, and can look out among the coaches and say, you know what, I want to hire someone that looks like me. This is not going to change. Jeff Saturday's hire. Jim Irsay has every right as an owner to hire whoever he wants to. But this screams a privilege. And I think it pushes the NFL back a couple of more steps, and they were already behind the line. I don't know. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I think you did, and I want to emphasize the fact that you're not saying that it's privilege in the fact of he deserved that. He felt like he should get that job, or because of his skin color. I think you're thinking it's because of the privilege of an owner to do as they say, when they can say how they want to say. You know what I mean? So I'm agreeing with you with that. If I have the means, I'm going to put whoever I want in to run my team. And I think what we spoke about off air is that I think where the NFL is missing the ball is that they're trying to push Black coaching, as opposed to Black ownership. So we're not knocking Jim Irsay for making this choice, and it'll continue because like mind tend to like people. However you want to look at that nature, that is his friend. So he has the right to do as he please in a team in which he purchased. But for the movement of saying why are there more Black coaches, I put that towards what we're getting at, is that I don't think you have enough Black ownership or any. You know what I mean? So that's what needs to be attacked, as opposed to the coaching room. I think that all changes once you initiate ownership.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is a lot of, and then Hill, I usually go to you for the NFL because I haven't watched it as much. But there's a couple of things. Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, were they considered?
Not close friends of Jeff Saturday from what I'm looking at now to pick. I mean, that's what I can take from it.
I'm just saying,
if I have to think, I'll probably say no.
Because Jeff Saturday was a really good player for the Colts, you know, to be taking nothing away from him, you know. And also, I think back to Deion Sanders, who was approached by a couple of teams to be an assistant. He scoffed at it. An assistant? I'm one of the best to ever do it. I should walk in as a head coach. And now he's at a HBCU. And, you know what I mean? So, and I believe, and I really think it comes down to ownership. Like, it's great to have, you know, African-American coaches and, you know, stuff, Eric Bieniemy, but that's not, like, I agree, that's not going to change anything. It's basically, you're asking to pay rent instead of owning a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
That's kind of what it comes down to. Oh, please let me live here. Please let me live here. Instead of just saying, and
by you let me live here, it's going to make you look good. Yeah,
right.
And by you let me live here, it's going to make you look good. It's going to make everyone look good if you let me live it.
Right, right. So there's a lot. I believe I saw some news that Robert F. Smith, he's a billionaire African American, is in a run to buy the Denver Broncos. So we'll see about that. And I love that purchase if it happens on a different level, because it's not an entertainer. It's a Black man who made billions of dollars without dancing or throwing or catching a ball. Nothing, I'm a sports guy. I'm a hip hop guy. I love music, love sports, but I just don't like this notion or this optics that to own a professional United States team, you pretty much have to be an entertainer.
I think that's the layers that have to be right. Yeah. You nailed it. But those are the layers that have to be unraveled with us, because let's take myself, for example. I would Google him and be looking to say, when did he play? You know what I'm saying? Right. Who did he play for?
Right. You said Robert Smith, who said that guy for the Vikings did pretty good for himself.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And that's what I was thinking.
That running back for the Vikings, what did he do after he retired?
But even with me, consider myself, and we consider ourselves educated.
Right.
Very well so. But there's still some conditioning in there, which we have to overcome.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you think about us with that standpoint and having that dynamic, and for those who don't have that, it's going to be a lot more to overcome. So just by seeing ownership and what they did, not being, like you said, an athlete or an entertainer, it's a couple of steps to saying, well, that's a great purchase, so I'm happy there. but what did this man do? All right, he wasn't instant. All right, so let me see what he did. It just opens up so many parameters to other people because owners in the NFL, just to give people an idea, couldn't catch an underhand toss 9 times out of 10, except for Jerry Jones, because I think he played it well, actually. But most owners, like I said, can't catch an underhand toss. So you don't need to be this athletic person if you're a minority. So I think that would be an excellent hire if that's the case. You know, even though I'm all for free ownership, you know, I mean, this is America, but that would be a great step.
Definitely. Phil, I'm calling you out on this one because I know you want to shout out your man. I think baseball released their MVP awards.
Oh, my man Verlander got his
Cy Young
hardware. That's what we're talking
Verlander
about.
got the Cy Young award.
Yes, I'm quite happy that he does have his hardware, but let's be serious there, right? Aaron Judge,
he got the MVP.
Easy one.
He got an MVP.
All right, and well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
And Verlander, they showed me the stats. I haven't watched baseball in a while, but unless something changed, those were some impressive stats Verlander put up. At 40 years old.
Yeah. But congratulations, Mr. Yankee. You know, well deserved. Let's hope they'll be able to retain him.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think they're
he put up
pay
and an MVP is
much for him, though.
That's going to be kind of tough negotiation.
Yeah. I believe they might just only be going against, I believe, the Giants, because I believe he's a San Francisco kid.
Right.
So so his parents don't have to fly across country. I think they could drive like 30 minutes to watch him play. So that's going to be
a nice place to end up.
From what I hear, it's not bad.
No.
San Francisco, New York, not a bad life, Aaron Judge. You earned it.
All right. This might be the portion of the show that we all kind of been looking forward to. My man Nasir Jones just released a new album, King's Disease 3. Did you guys get a chance to listen to it at all?
Did I?
Yeah, I heard it twice.
Did I? Jeez.
And what's the thoughts? What's the verdict?
One of his best projects, in my opinion, like ever. And that's saying a lot. I'm a day one live at the barbecue, back to the grill again Nas fan, when we were calling him Baby G-Rat, Baby Rakim.
So would you put it in top 5 albums of his catalog?
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Top 3?
No. That's easy for me. Quickly, no.
Ooh.
3.5 though, close.
Possibly number 3. I mean, everyone has they're different, but usually it's Illmatic. For me, oh dang. Now I don't know. It has to sit with me a little. Just for the record, I probably have Illmatic. I know this is different from other people's. I probably have I Am number 2. I'm a big fan. I was just a big fan of I Am.
Of course, absolutely.
And Godson. I know a lot of people like Stillmatic better. It was I love it. I thought Godson was fire. I just love that album. But those are the top 3 for me.
So KD3 might be making top 10.
No, KD3 might be next, right?
Number 3 or your third?
Number 4. Yeah, number 4 behind Illmatic, I Am, and Godson. And I know where KD2 was fire. It's just like KD2 is right there. I'm not sure if it's better than KD2 because I'm a big fan of KD2.
KD1 got him his Grammy.
Yeah, KD1 was good, but it wasn't. I think they got better as the King Disease trilogy went along, and Magic was good also. By the way,
let me ask this though. So Illmatic's still the best album he made, right?
Hard to doubt that. For me, no, but it's hard to argue that.
All right, Hill. Let me jump on that one. You say Illmatic's not the best album he's made. What's the best album?
For me, it's always going to be Written. It's one of the more sexier albums for me, per se, because finally is where he usually gets knocked for blending beats. And how can you question Illmatic? Like Illmatic to me is 1A. but it was written as his number one match of beats, flow, energy, everything meshed perfectly for me for It Was Written. It is just a perfect album for me. And Illmatic's perfect. But it's him raw and not knowing totally his vocals and his gift. Right then, he opened Pandora's box, and it blew us all away. But I think It Was Written is where he mastered his craft, and everything went together. And I never had it with which his beats for the whole album matched up. Like it did it for 80% of the album for me, because I'll find some spots in I Am where I'm like, but Written, forget it. I can put that on at any moment, and I'm just pleased from start to finish. So that's for me. If it'll be Written, Illmatic, I Am, and then KD3.
P, you said Illmatic #1 album,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to argue that though.
It gives me that I remember where I was when I heard it, or I remember buying it, listening to it, all of that. So it's almost like a nostalgia thing for me on top of that. And it aged well. Listening to it now, it still gives me the same feeling.
It's it's that 98. It gives me a 98. And it's because of The World Is Yours.
And speaking of The World Is Yours,
because of The Hometown Hero.
Yeah, that was my least favorite song, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's what did it for me. And I still give that a 98 out of 100.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys this. Is Nas still relevant in today's hip hop?
21 Savage would be liking this conversation right now.
Because I think I might have led you guys a little bit. Is Nas relevant in hip hop? I'm not even going to say today's hip hop. Just in hip hop, is Nas relevant?
Man. That's a great question. Man.
And I feel like we
I put it this way.
Use the word relevant so often.
I'll be fair. I'll say Nas is not relevant in hip hop because hip hop is not relevant in hip hop. Because what you have right now is not hip hop. Put it that way. I think what you have right now is rap. So it's gangster rap, it's drill rap, it's down south rap. I don't think you have hip hop. I don't think you have a culture. I think you have, because to me, hip hop embedded all cultures in all, areas of the world. Forget the nation. You know what I'm saying? You had British, you had Canadian hip hop, you had but everything was under one umbrella of hip hop. It was one big family. Right now, I think we have so many pockets of, we have gangster rap, like I said, we have New York drill, we have Chicago drill, we have West Coast funk rap, gangster rap type thing. But I don't think we're all under an umbrella. I think it's a lot more competing, and it's a lot more expression of the youth of what they're going through, as opposed to when it was hip hop, it was a lot more expression what was affecting the generation as a whole. And this is our rebellion music, this is our freedom music, and other cultures came in to latch on and say, I want to understand that. You know what I mean? The biggest fanfare of Wu-Tang, it's not African American youth. It's Asian Americans and Caucasian Americans. That's their biggest fans. People came in and do that. With the rap that's out now, it's more so out that even African Americans don't want to be a part of some of drill rap. You know what I mean? The music that's in here now, it's the culture that they don't want to be a part of. You know what I mean? Hip hop, everyone, there's, you can go to your squarest square, holiday dinners or holiday events, and they're not going to play any rap that's now. But you can play a Nas song, you can play a Biggie song, treacherous lyrics, and your CEO can rap what was going on because they wanted to be inside that culture. You can't play this music now. That's why, to me, I say he doesn't relate to this what we have now. So the answer is complex, but I would have to say no. Nas doesn't relate. He's not relative to hip hop now, because I don't think that hip hop is relative to music now in its own way.
Okay. P, what's your thoughts?
I think he is, because if any blog or any social media thing, they're talking about him. After he dropped an album, he's talked about. So I think that makes him relevant. You know what I mean? Of course, the culture's changed. It's always changed. Mm-hmm. And I understand what Hill's saying. Like, it's, you know, the difference between hip hop and rap, the commercialization of it and everything. You know, to a 16-year-old who's from Arkansas, maybe he doesn't even know who Nas is. You know what I mean? But that's just how hip hop has grown. There's so many subgenres where that 16-year-old from Arkansas might not listen to 90s New York hip hop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He might listen to trap music, might listen to drill music, or, you know, whatever. You know, might listen to that hybrid, what, you know, someone like Drake does. You know what I mean? But as far as it's Nas relevant, yeah, I think so. I think so.
And I guess it's perfect that I'm last, because I'm caught in between both of you guys. I think both of you guys make good arguments. I agree with Hill in the sense that I think the culture of hip hop has died or is dying away slowly but surely. Gone are the days where you see hip hop develop its culture, you know, in the sense of, hey, you have dance, music, art. You know, not seeing too many artists out there, you know, as far as, hey, outside of the rap genre that Hill is talking about, outside of rappers, there aren't too many artists out there, you know, that are getting the notoriety that they deserve, or we used to heap on them in previous years with hip-hop.
Besides Drake, to be honest, I mean, to cut you off, I think A&R is looking to package death. I mean, what else do you offer? You know what I mean? And from LA to Chicago to Tennessee to Texas, the one constant thing is death. It's drilling. It's ops. It's, I mean, one of the better things you don't have now, I guess, when our time, when the fun time was the dehumanizing of women in videos. I mean, you don't even get that no more. They don't even have time to really lush over females anymore. I mean, guns have taken over girls out of videos right now. That's the prettier thing. Who has a prettier gun?
Yeah, I try not to be the get off my lawn guy at this point, because, you know,
I listen to it though. So hey, listen to me, right?
No, I listen to, you know, I grew up with MOP, Mobb Deep, and all of that, which is, you know, G-rap is, to me, one of my favorites, gangster rap. And, you know, so it's kind of like, oh, this drill rap. I feel like Mobb Deep, MOP was the same thing. This drill rap might have escalated it just a little bit more.
I think the pale in comparison, P, I think these people are actually killers. Some of these guys who actually rap.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, yo,
yeah, I think it's what they were saying, what Mobb Deep and what we're saying, we're talking about people in their communities who are doing in which these actual rappers are doing. Not a good thing, but that whole era was somewhat cat-wise to these kids.
Yeah. That whole era of hip hop with Mobb Deep and them, these kids are looking at it like, yo, y'all was playing around.
Yeah, that was you were capping.
y'all are playing around. Y'all playing games. We out here doing it for real and telling the people about it.
And it's not a good thing though.
Which is
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Which is really not smart. But
forget smart. You're tearing down what could, you know, present to make you the money. Like, that industry back then was pretty much getting screwed contract-wise. This community is screwing each other out with just mortality-wise. Like, they're taking each other out in these little gripes that they're having.
Yeah, I think, you know, in I'll say the mid '90s. We'll say that mid '90s to mid 2000s. It was more of which rapper had the most money, right? Even the hardest dude. You look at someone like you know, not to name names, but you look at someone like 50 who really lived that life. It's probably the closest. It's probably the closest to this drill rap music from the previous generation who really did it. But that wasn't his main thing. I want the money. I want as much money as Jay-Z and Puff. You know what I mean? And now I feel like it's not really money.
Cloud dollars.
I wish it's like the body count.
Yeah, that too.
You see what I mean?
And we just came off of talking about Nas. It's like one of Nas's lines. Hey, Props is a 3-thug wife. Like these cats are taking it to the next level with that.
It's just an interesting dichotomy because we say all of this in an era where, I mean, maybe it's fading out as much now, but like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole are your biggest artists who are not about that life. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, it's interesting. You have to really go in depth to cover. You can't really throw a blanket over hip hop. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, drill music is popular, but the three biggest artists in hip hop have nothing to do with it.
Yes, it's a really good point. But
hey,
it'll be a funny poll to see what their contemporaries would feel about them. I mean, they might be the biggest, but it might be safe to say that the rest of the end, they could be anomalies, put it that way.
Yeah, you know, whoever's listening, drop a comment, YouTube, Instagram. I'm really curious, like, how do you feel? Who's the biggest rapper? What's the biggest subgenre of hip hop right now? You know, let the old man know.
Definitely hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Hit us up in the comment sections on our YouTube page. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Let us know. Like P said, hey, who do y'all think is the best rapper out there? Is Nas still relevant?
Definitely should be.
Are Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole, are they the leaders of the industry? Or is there someone else that should be considered? Hit us up. Fellas, what's on the radar?
BFR remiss. I know it's a week away. Huge loss. Israel Adesanya lost his title. It seems to be the thorn. It's gonna be the thorn of his in his side, on his foot, whatever cliche you want to use. He just can't seem to get over the Alex Pereira hump. He has his numbers, beat him 3 times. So they're looking to complete the trilogy of Africa, which is Usman, Adesanya, and John Jones will be fighting the heavyweight champion. So that'll be the last of like I said, the triumphant from Africa who held titles, who was a good chance to have lost all their belts within 18 months. So I'm hoping not. I'm sorry I went blank on the name, but boy, oh boy, UFC Africa taking the hit right now.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou.
P, what's on your radar, man? On my radar, my namesake, Monty Bates. He had a rough couple of months, but I believe it was a week ago. He gave University of Michigan 30. So it's interesting to see if he could get back on the NBA radar again after all the turmoil he's going through.
Where is he now?
Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
He was able to stay out of jail.
Yes. Yeah. He gave Jawan Howard, coach Michigan, 30 the other sometime last week. They in a loss. I think they lost by like 3 or 5, but yeah. So he's on my radar. I didn't even know that he was active. So yeah.
That's great. It's on my radar. I might be going back out, fellas. Wakanda forever. I might be going back out to see that again this weekend, man. Yeah. What's he say, Hill?
You gonna watch it again?
Yes, Hill. Yes, Hill.
Wow.
Why don't you try watching it? How about that? Can we get that going on? Man, Wakanda forever. The Black Panther League.
Sunny at the Turnstile, I take it. It's that good, huh? I have to see it. Okay, I gotta get there. I gotta get there.
And did anybody in your household see it yet, Hill?
No.
Because I know you had some really good moviegoers that look out for the good movies.
Oh yeah, my wife and daughter definitely want to go see it. You know, I just haven't been in a rush to go see it yet. I saw the John Wick trailer.
There for that. I'm there for that. I'm actually excited again about John Wick.
Yeah, no, another one.
And they're going to be
John Wick
coming
Can't
out
Die
with
as well.
a spin-off series or movie, The Ballerina, where they're going to be talking about they're going to have Anna Armas, I believe, and
Big
Keanu
fan.
Reeves in it. She's going to be playing a ballerina from the ballerina school that John Wick graduated from, that we saw in John Wick 3. She's going to be part of that and looking for revenge and stuff like that. So just expanding the John Wick universe. So excited about that.
Well, don't know Anna de Armas. I think she was Maxim's #1 top girl, maybe 2 years in a row.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't know Maxim's
Let
still
me know.
around.
They're still kicking.
Gotta check that out. Educational purposes only.
So I was told.
All right, fellas. It's been real, man.
Yo, another one in the books, man. Happy birthday, man.
I appreciate it, man. Rather be no other place than my brothers, man. For real.
Happy birthday again. Yes, sir.
Enjoy it. I gotta link up. I gotta get you something.
Yes. God bless.
I will do. We need a fifth. We love y'all out there, man.
All right.
Be safe.
Peace.
More life.